Hi, Elena.
Hello.
Big week. Glasgow City have also had a big week. Obviously, yesterday they got that victory in Europe. Were you able to watch any of that game and sort of take anything away that we can use for Sunday?
I was there yesterday. Great game to watch. But yeah, I think we were pretty much prepared with the staff before that game. So we know what we need to do on Sunday.
So it didn't change anything about your plans?
No, I don't think that they've changed the way how they play domestically or out in Europe. So we have a game plan set, and we're gonna make everything that we can to try to execute it the best possible way.
And in your plan, do you kind of take into consideration the fact that they have, a bit more congestion in terms of their fixtures and they've played more football than we have?
No.
We spoke after the Motherwell game with a bit of reflection on that as well. We spoke about it on our podcast, and I wondered whether you felt that it was good preparation for this game, getting that really good result, and kind of it felt like people on the pitch, the players were firing together and working really as a unit right to the end of the game.
Yeah, I think we've been talking about it as a collective. Internally, we've talked about that we want to make sure we're more consistent. We want to play for each other. We want to make sure that we get a great performance, because when we get a great performance, the results that we had against Motherwell is going to come, because we have the quality. And yeah, like I said, I think we're not looking too much of what Glasgow City have done in terms of playing games and stuff. We need to focus on what we can bring to the game and what we need to do to make sure that we get the best execution, like I said before as well. And I know that when everybody is on the same page, when we play our style of play, I think that's when we are at the best. And like I said, we need to be aware of certain things from Glasgow City, because it is a great team, but we also know how to exploit them. So we're set there.
More specifically, what do you think those certain specific threats are that this Glasgow City team presents?
No, but obviously, like, they've conceded least goal in the league. They've been doing really well there. But we also know that they're a pretty direct team. They like to go straight to 1v1s, progressive runs, and I think that is something that we need to be aware of. But like I said as well, there's things to exploit, and we've been focused on it both yesterday and today in the training. So the intensity in the training has been really good. The players have taken along many good things from what we want to see in the game. And I'm really pleased with what we've shown so far in the training. So really excited for the game on Sunday.
What would a win on Sunday mean? Obviously, a psychological boost, but to go as well top of the table at this stage in the season.
No, obviously Glasgow City is the last game, because then we've played against all the teams once. I think for me, like I've said it from the start, we're on a journey. We have pretty much a new team. We're still building. We're still getting to know each other. There's relationship building on the pitch. So I just want to see that progress. I want to see that strong belief that we have in the team. And I want to see players fighting for each other out on the pitch, which the players have done really, really good. I think there's a strong togetherness as a collective, both players and staff, and we're all looking ahead and trying to do everything that we can to make sure that we win games. And we've been doing pretty well so far.
Has it been difficult for you to pick your starting 11 for Sunday's game? Have you done that yet?
I think obviously, we've been looking at consistency. There's not a secret how we've played in the last games, and if you look at that consistency, is strong relationships building on the pitch, and we're gonna keep doing what we think is the best.
Mm-hmm. You said that you took Amy Gallagher off half-time as a sort of precautionary measure ahead of this game. How's she been doing? Has she been in training this week?
She's been training full.
Great. I also wanted to ask you about a couple of other players. We obviously saw Chloe Logan going off on loan to Motherwell. I don't think we've spoken to you about that. What does that mean for her as a player? What was the thought process behind that happening?
No, I think the thought process is something probably that we should keep internal, what we've been talking about. But listen, I think Logan is an amazing player. She's an amazing person. She needs consistency in games as well, and I think her journey has been a little bit up and down because of injury. So really happy for Clogan, and I know that she's going to do brilliant.
And as on a slightly more depressing note, we had the news of Claire Goldie. I just wondered what how you reflect on that, considering she's come off such a difficult period of recovery already.
Obviously, it's a hard one. Hard one, especially because she's such an incredible person. Not only that, she's been incredible. I think I've highlighted her as a really strong player for us. Obviously, like last season during the preseason, I think she was one of the best players we had. She's a young player, but she has so much quality. And we were really looking forward to have her back, and she was so close. But unfortunately, football is so harsh, and we all feel so bad for her because we wanted her back on the pitch. But I know that she's in a great position. When I look at the staff, Katie, who's our physio, she's amazing. Fee, who has the same kind of background with a lot of injuries, especially knees. Well, I've been there as well. And I'll talk about her teammates, all wonderful persons, players who supports her and is going to support them during the whole journey. But yeah, it's very, very bad news for us because she's incredible.
It feels like as well this team is very well set up to support players who are out of the game for significant periods of time, whether people have had experience of that, but making sure that they still feel part of the setup. Is that something that you kind of consciously make sure you're doing?
Yeah. Listen, I've been in that position. I know how it feels. I know how alone you can feel in many of those cases. But like I said, I'm so happy with the staff that we have, the players that we have. Like I would say that we're all incredible people with a big heart who cares. And Goldie is in a great position because she knows that we'll do everything we can to make sure that she gets back, and she gets back in a great shape. And that is what is so unfair and so harsh when it comes to football, because Goldie worked so hard to get back from her injury, and she was so close and she was so strong, and that will happen to her would not be in anyone's head. So really bad news for us, but I know that Goldie is so strong, she's so dedicated, and she will be back, and she will be back better.
Can I just ask, we saw Jenny Smith coming back on the bench. Are there any other players we might be able to see either getting minutes or back kind of boosting the bench for Sunday?
Well, hopefully Jenny will probably get some minutes as well. We'll see with Natalie Ross. And then obviously we have Shannon, Goldie, Craigie, and Vestine. They're still out.
Hi Elena, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Did you enjoy it last night?
Yeah, it was a great game to watch. A lot of goals.
It felt as though every time someone went up the park they were going to score. Just your thoughts. Does this feel like the biggest game of your season so far?
I would say I think it's a big game in terms of the positions that we're in, but also like I said, I think it's been so good to see where we are at after playing almost all the teams. Obviously tomorrow on the weekend is going to be the last team we played, and then we played every team once. But obviously it's a great game to finish that first round, and I think it's just going to show again the journey that we're in, where we are, and what we need to build on and keep growing forward. But I do think it's a really exciting game ahead of us. Like I said before, Glasgow City is a great team. We're a great team, so it's going to be a great game.
Leanne Ross has described it as a 6-pointer, just given the fact that there's just so little distance between the two of you. At this stage in the season, how important is it that one team doesn't just start to break away from everyone else?
No, I think it's obviously really important. We've all seen that all the teams can get points from all the other teams, especially the top 5. But yeah, like I said, I think our focus has been on us, how we can get out the best out of us, no matter who we have against us. And we know it's going to be a tough game. We know it's going to be small margins to who's going to win and who's going to get the points. But like I said, I think we know what Glasgow City is like, what kind of team to expect. We know the threats, we know what they're good at, and we know how to exploit them. So if we can just focus on trying to get out the best of the game plan and get the best out of the players, then it's going to be still a tough game, but we need to fight for everything that we can.
Psychologically, what would a win do for you?
I think we've been talking internally about, like, we know that we have great strengths. We've showed it in types of, if you look at the goal difference, we've been scoring a lot of goals, and we need to make sure that we believe in that and we keep trying and keep creating chances to score. And that is what I want to see on Sunday, is like, we need to have that strong belief and strong confidence that we can do that. But in the end, we also need to be very sharp in our defending to make sure that they can't exploit what they're good at as well. But like I said, I think that is what's going to show in that game. But we're still on a journey. I said it before, we are still a pretty new team that are building relations. And for me, if we win on Sunday, obviously it's going to take us top of the table, but we have a lot of games in front of us. So it's not going to be like the final, but it's obviously going to put us in a really good position if we win on Sunday.
Is belief key to it? Is it going into the game with a conviction that you believe you can win?
Yeah, 100%. If we don't believe in it, then I don't think we're going to win on Sunday. So we need to have a strong belief that we can.
Hi, Elena. I just wanted to ask there, you mentioned a bit about how you're going to want to attack on Sunday, but also need to make sure that the defence is good. How do you go about balancing that as a head coach? What are you telling your players in regards to that?
Well, that's a secret I keep to myself and the players.
Yeah, fair enough. So you mentioned that you were watching Glasgow City's European one yesterday. What are you kind of taking from watching that performance going into Sunday's game?
Well, no matter if they play with a 3-back line or a 4-back line, they don't change the principles. So we know pretty much what to expect, either if they play a 3 against us or a 4 against us. So I'm actually not, nothing changes. Like, they're still the team that they are. They still have the individual that they are, and they're still doing the same. Like, they're still playing the style of play that they play, no matter what kind of system. So we know what to expect. And I've said it before, Glasgow City is a great team. It shows in the table. They're still unbeaten. They've not conceded many goals. They've scored goals, and we're aware of everything. So it's just up to us to make sure that we do everything that we can to get the best result.